Anthony Black on 4 defenders.
That is a poster moment if there ever was one. Anthony Black showing up and showing off. You're listening to the Sports Spotlight right here on Radio Azad. And right now, it is my absolute honor and privilege to welcome to the airwaves of Radio Azad my good buddy and a wonderful basketball dude. And dude, he is Manny from Kansas City. Manny, how you doing, buddy?
What's up? What's up? Doing good, my friend.
Oh man, what a time to be alive, man! I wish you could. See the highlights. I'm actually playing the video of the highlights, so obviously just the audio is coming through here. But man, oh man, I'm playing for whatever reason. I decided to pick like just an hour long of absolutely humiliating highlights. Right? It's poster dunks and ankle breakers and working through strong contact, going to the hoop, just great highlights. And that's what I love about the NBA, right? I mean, that's what we all love about the NBA. It's the athleticism, it's the spectacular, right? That's why we tune in. The NBA is always what was their old thing? NBA is where amazing happens, right? And for a long while, I don't want to start this whole generational thing and the goat debate, but like going all the way back to the 80s, the Magic, the Michael, the Bird era into the 90s, Kobe, Shaq, even. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Shaq, as everybody knows, but into the 2000s, even Tim Duncan, the big fundamental, right? Um, there was always amazing stuff that happened, and now here we are. I don't want to take anything away from what OKC is doing. From a team perspective, they have done a wonderful job of, savvy front office movements, savvy transactions that loaded them up, absolutely loaded them up with draft capital that's allowed them to accumulate all this talent. But man, oh man, what's happening with Shea Gilgis Alexander and the ticky tack fouls that he gets called is really taking away from how truly amazing this roster is, and the front office has the job that the front office has done putting this together. What is your take on what transpired in this last round and where we sit with this whole Shea Gilgis Alexander and the fact that he's shot almost what, like 200 more free throws than the second place person in the last 2 years? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, no, you're right about that. I mean, the he's obviously the reigning MVP, their current champion. But you're right, man. Some of those games I was watching, very touchy fouls, right? And in the act of shooting, he'd get a 3 point play a lot of times. But you're
And
absolutely
it's
right.
one
I think
sided. If
yeah,
they're calling the game that way, that's one thing. But
yeah.
game after game, he's getting those calls. The opposition is not. What are you supposed to, as a fan, what are you supposed to take away from that, right? I mean, it's just, I don't understand why the NBA is allowing it. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a rule change, right? They did it with Harden. Remember, Harden
Yeah,
was doing
James
that
Harden,
like
exactly.
6, 7, 8 years ago. They're just launching, jacking up a three, running into the defender, and he was getting 4 point plays, right? He was either getting three free throws or 4 point plays. So, and they made a rule change. Something's got to give. I understand that he plays close to the basket. I understand that he gets contact. And if you're going to call it that tight on one side, just call it that tight on the other side. That's all I want, right? I want in sports, as fans, as competitors, as participants, as consumers of the sports, all we want is fair play on both sides, right? Call it the way you want to call it, but call it the same on both sides, man.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, that game would have certainly tilted the other way if he had not gotten so many options at the free throw line. And to be honest, I mean, you're right. Like they did not similar fouls. We're not going the Lakers' way. And yeah, I feel bad. I mean, I know Luca wasn't in the series, and to get swept, they definitely were missing some of their offensive firepower. Uh, to be honest, man, Smart and Kennard, I was hoping for more points from them in that last game. They were very silent, and it shows. One thing I can tell you, they should have never got rid of Caruso. I know they got AR and he's a beast, but Caruso was the defensive player that would shut the other team down. He did a great job against LeBron as well in this series.
He did. He did. He's one of those unsung heroes. And yeah, I think OKC almost they won the championship last year and got stronger. And it feels like Shea Gilgeous Alexander is getting even more calls this year than he was last year. So, I mean, look, I want to talk about the Lakers. So first, they overachieved, right? They were even coming into the season at full strength. They weren't really supposed to be a top 4 team. And then what they did during the regular season was an overachievement. And what they did in the playoffs without not just Luca, but remember early on they were missing Austin Reeves as well. Without their top 2 scorers, because LeBron is great in his year 22 or 23, whatever season it is, 23, right? Yeah. So he's great as a facilitator, but his scoring has dipped. He's not putting up 30. I mean, he hasn't put up a 30-point game in ages. He averaged 23 or 24 this year, but doing great on rebounding, on the assists, finding the open player. So their top 2 offensive options this year were Luka 1, Austin Reeves 2. Right? And missing both of them, getting through the first round, missing one of them, but that one being Luka Doncic, and still taking a go at it, right? I mean, look, they never had a shot in this, but I feel that the refs made it worse. And at the risk of jumping sports, and we'll get to the NFL. I mean, we've got a lot of NFL conversation to be had, and actually Shep's going to be joining us after the 11 o'clock break as we swivel the spotlight over to the NFL gridiron. But that's one of my complaints with the NFL with the refereeing is, and again, people are going to accuse me of being a tinfoil hatter, whatever. There is game manipulation that happens to a very small degree, but it happens because they want to keep the games competitive. Whether it's conscious or subconscious, we can debate. But there is no doubt that calls start to change a little bit when the game is getting away from one team, because they always, in the NFL, they always want to keep games close.
Close, right?
It happens. You've seen it, right? The same PI will not get called on the team if they're if the opposition is down 2 touchdowns. They'll give the PI. If they're up 2 touchdowns, they won't give that same contact will not get called PI. So it happens. But at least that's understandable. They're trying to keep the game more interesting, competitive, closer, all that good stuff. What is the NBA doing? OKC is loaded, is absolutely loaded, right? Why are you giving such a pivotal competitive advantage to a team that is more talented than anybody? Again, at the top, if the Lakers were completely healthy, I would hear the argument that the Lakers at the top were more talented. The top 3 versus top 3, right? If you say Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves versus Shea and Jay Will and Chet Holmgren, right?
Yep.
There's an argument to be had that the Lakers are more talented, even with a diminished LeBron. Like at this point, those top 3 against the OKC top 3, Lakers might be slightly favored. But overall roster, come on, man. They've got first rounders. They've got like 9 or 10 first rounders on that roster in OKC. and they still have what 7 first-round picks in the next 3 or 4 years. I mean, it's insane what they've been able to build off of trading away Russell, off of trading away Durant, off of trading away Paul George when they had him for a year, right?
Yep.
So overall roster, they are more talented than anybody else in the NBA, I think, across the board. Why are you giving them such a strategic advantage on the foul calls? And some of those are just, I don't completely blame Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right? That's what I used to say. As much as I hated the Patriots back in the day when they were just mauling the Colts back in the early 2000s, right?
Mhm.
I was like, hey, if the refs aren't calling it, I'm as a coach, I'm gonna tell my players to keep doing it until they call it. Same
Yeah.
thing with the Kansas City holds, especially Jawan Taylor holds, the false starts and the holds, right? If the refs aren't calling it, keep doing it. Keep doing it until they do their job. So I don't blame Shai Gilgeous in this. But holy crap, what is the NBA? What are the refs doing? Like something's got to give. And I think there's going to be something that something that has to be done because
Another
that
rule change.
I mean, I don't know how they're going to enforce this one, but they
Yeah.
kind of said that about the Harden rule as well, right? I think they were like, "Well, I don't know how they can stop it because technically there is contact from the defender. Technically, there is." Yeah, I think we're gonna have to. I know there's the refs are scored on their refereeing, but there need to be consequences to an unevenly called game for referees. There has to be, and there has to be an unbiased evaluation of the equal treatment of of what is considered a foul, what is called a foul. So maybe that's where it's not going to be an actual rule change. That's it's going to be an enforcement change that's going to have to take place. But some's got to give because
Yeah.
as much as the OKC team was beloved 2 years ago, right? Homegrown, they did it the right way. Young, hard playing, talented core. I think they're going to become hated because of this.
No, I think you have definitely put a good point on this. I saw the same kind of conversation when OKC was playing against Phoenix. I think Devin Booker was really upset on a couple of fouls that didn't go his way, and a lot less touchier fouls they were calling for SGA. So no, this is something that's been going on, I think, all playoffs, if you really look at the last series as well. And yeah, the opponents have quite a gripe against the referees, man. They're not consistent, especially against their team star players like LeBron or Booker. So yeah, it'll be interesting how they go with the OKC versus Spurs games because you got stars on both sides. You've got the alien going
Oof.
against the OKC Thunder with Chet Holmgren and SGA. So it'll be really interesting. Hopefully they start calling it a lot more fair because it's not good for the fans to start bringing refereeing into a game. You want to see a competitive game without the refs being involved. And so far, that I don't believe it's happened in the Western Conference.
Absolutely. All right. Well, what did happen? I do want to talk about that. That's a nice segue. Well done, my friend. Nice segue back to the San Antonio Spurs and look
Wow.
and the upstart Timberwolves.
Yes.
The Spurs ended up winning this 4-2, and it really wasn't that close.
No,
It was that
blew them out like 29 points over 3 games.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was really that one game that the Timberwolves won that
The first game.
Wembanyama. Well, the third one that Wembanyama
When he
got ejected, right?
ejected, right?
Second or third game, whatever it was. So I want to talk about that ejection. And I felt it was a little unfair. Look, did he swing the elbow? Did the elbow make contact with the jaw? Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. But why aren't the refs looking into the whole play? He was raked across the face twice when Banyama was before he swung. He should not have swung it. I'm not even saying, I think swinging the elbow and connecting with the opponent's jaw, it is a flagrant 2. That call was right. but they should have applied um, more punishment on what led up to this instead of just only looking at this in a vacuum and calling a flagrant two on Wembanyama. Because there was a lot of hard physical play going on there. But yes, outside of that game, they won another one, close one by 2 points. So in the end, it looks like Spurs in six. So it was close, but it wasn't really close. Like the games the Spurs won, they just absolutely blew them out, um, winning this last one by 30 points, 139, 109. And it's the fact that they were just scoring at will against this. And speaking of having gathered some great young talent, the Spurs have also done that. And I mean, what was their major? It was Kawhi Leonard. I think they accumulated a good bit of draft capital with trading away Kawhi Leonard to Toronto 5 years
Mhm.
ago, and then it was Aldridge, right? I think they traded away Aldridge at the end. Uh, but they did not have the big names to trade away quite like the OKC Thunder did. But man, oh man, they've accumulated some high and have lucked into a couple of
Oh
right
yeah.
getting that first overall pick in the year where there was the alien and everybody else, right? It was every time, even last year, we had Cooper Flag, but Harper had a legitimate claim to be the first overall pick. And even not just before the draft, but after the season, Harper has looked really good. VJ Edgecombe for the Sixers has looked really good. But
Mhm.
that year, when Wembanyama was in the draft, it was him. And then far below him was everybody else. Like the first overall pick meant so much more than second, third, or fourth did that year. And the Spurs got it. And they got him. And he is an absolute monster, an
Yeah.
alien monster. Give me your thoughts on Wembanyama and what he means to the sport and how far he can carry this very talented cast that he has in San Antonio.
Man, Victor is an alien for sure. I mean, that nickname is definitely suiting him. The stuff he does outside of his frame, I mean, being so tall, the actual skills he has, the footwork for someone that big. The guy can actually take the ball and run it down the court. I mean, he's impossible to guard. And then you put around him some of these really good players like De'Aaron Fox, and how about Castle? I mean, Stephon Castle, man, this last game he had what 32 points, most points on the team. So yeah, they're stacked. I think with Harper as well. This team they have the guard play, and then they got the man in the middle. So they're going to be definitely a tough out. I did not have. I think we discussed it. Somehow I was just hoping LeBron and Lakers would somehow make it past. I don't know what I was smoking, man. Now that I see the sweep, it's clear to me that the two best teams in the Western Conference Finals are going to be meeting up. But who do you have for this? Like, who do you even pick? I mean, OKC has not lost one game in the playoffs, and the way the Spurs just rolled through the Timberwolves and how they're clicking right now, it's going to be a really, really interesting series, man. I definitely am looking forward to this one.
It is. So I think I will still say, to a lesser degree, but still say what I said before. So, don't feel too badly about the Lakers because I had the Denver Nuggets
Nuggets, yeah, I remember.
advancing from the West, right? Because
Right,
I felt, I felt experience matters. I felt when it comes to playoff basketball,
sure.
experience absolutely matters. And I thought that that's where with Luca and Austin Reeves being hurt, I think that's what was they were going to be able to come through, and they've been kind of the bane of OKC, right? So I thought they'd be able to get past them. But at this point, where we are, what the Wolves did to Denver, my championship playing team, right?
Hmm.
And then what the Spurs did to the Wolves,
Yeah,
I would be hard pressed to pick against the Spurs. Now,
absolutely.
I think, And you mentioned Castle, you mentioned Harper, obviously Wembanyama, but Champagne, right? He can go off for a 30-point game. Like the talent they have
Oh,
on
yeah.
this team is insane, an insane level. I think again, if I were to look at top 5 versus top 5, the Spurs might have a slight but an advantage over OKC, as
Well, I
talented
mean,
as that
they
roster
beat him
is.
4-1 during the regular
They
season too. So
dominated them.
you know,
Yeah, that one victory OKC had was close, and there were games where the Spurs looked like it was boys amongst men, right? It
yeah,
was like they were toying with them.
exactly.
How much of a dominance they expressed upon OKC. So yeah, at this point, I would be hard pressed to pick against them. I just hope to God that in 10 to 12 days, we're not sitting here talking about how the Zebras made OKC beat San Antonio. I don't want to have that conversation. As a fan, I don't. As an analyst, I don't. As a sports lover, I don't. So please, NBA and the refs, if you're listening out there, please, please, for the love of God, let the teams play and decide on the court, amongst the players. I'm not saying let them play rough. I'm saying apply your rules evenly across the teams. Don't make it one-sided calls. Don't give Shea Gilgis every contact and
Mhm.
let the opposition rake Wembanyama across the face and not call. Right? I mean, that's all I'm asking. Just let them play. And look, if you let them play fair and square, and OKC beats the San Antonio Spurs, and you let them play fair and square, and they sweep the Spurs, I will have egg on my face. I will eat crow, and I will say I was wrong.
Mm.
But please let them play fair and square. That's what I want from the NBA. That's what I want from the refs.
Mhm.
And I think, look, if they let them play fair and square, I think this is going to be a great series, one of the all-time great series. It might be
Oh yeah, I
at
mean, this
least
is
a
what
6
the
or a
first
7 match.
time two teams are meeting up in over 20 years that are 60+ wins. And yeah, both teams are stacked. I mean, if you really look at it, their starting 5 versus the OKC starting 5. And Vegas. I was looking at the odds, the betting odds. I think they've got OKC Thunder winning Game 1 tomorrow. I'm not sure, maybe just on the strength of how they've been playing in the playoffs, haven't lost one game. But yeah, it'll be interesting, man. It really is going to be a really good series.
Yeah, and they're also at home. Now, what surprised me, interesting that you brought up the Vegas and the favorites. I'm actually interested in that line.
Yeah,
So you get 3.5 points for being at home, but the line here is 6.5.
6.5, right?
That's a little surprising to me.
Yeah.
That's a little surprising to me. And actually, honestly, that over under of 219.5 is also a little surprising to me because both of these teams are defense minded, right?
Yeah.
Wembanyama absolutely just holding down, anchoring the inside defense, protecting the rim, and then on the Thunder side, their team defense is just. I don't want to get into Dort today.
Short,
I
yeah.
think he is
Probably one of the best defenders in the league, man.
he is, but he's a pest, right? And he'll
Yeah.
he'll he'll chip and elbow and claw and all that, like everything that all
He
these
gets away with a lot.
he does.
I see that.
He does. And I mean, he's like right on there on the precipice of being a dirty player. Maybe he hasn't quite crossed over, but he'll try to. He believes what I was saying earlier, right? If the refs are letting you do it, keep doing it.
Right.
So I think that needs to be brought under control a little bit. But overall, the team defense that OKC has is phenomenal, right? So I'm really surprised at that 219 over under, and the 6.5 point lead. I think this is going to be this first game. I think this is going to be a classic, decided inside of the last 30 seconds, if not a buzzer beater. I think it's going to be a lot of close fighting and lead changes, late lead changes, and decided in the let's say in the last minute, if not a buzzer beater. So we'll see.
Let's hope SGA doesn't go to the line 20 times.
Yep.
I mean,
all right. Hey, I do have to. I apologize for cutting you off. I'm a little over. I got to take a real quick break. We're gonna come back in about 4 minutes with more Sports Spotlight. Manny's gonna be with us, and Shep's gonna be joining us. We're gonna talk more NBA, and then swivel over to the NFL as the schedules have come up. You're listening to the Sports Spotlight right here on Radio Azad with your host Rizwan.
You're listening to Radio Azad on